Welcome to my channel.
This is the most addictive substance legally available in our country, and we all are guilty of consuming it. The uninvited thing that comes along with any good news is something meetha. But why is it so important for us to have something sweet if there is a good news? In our Indian tradition, meetha and happiness are interconnected. And this relationship has us given the social sanction to have this toxic chemical, sugar. We call it a toxic chemical because sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Consuming sugar produces effects similar to that of cocaine. Sugar hits the pleasure center of the brain and sends the signal of eating more. Sugar affects the chemistry of the limbic system, which is associated with emotional control of the brain. Cancer cells love sugar. Sugar feeds tumors and increases the growth of cancer cells. Sugar has more than 50 names, which gives manufacturers the opportunity to disguise it under different names. If you think pizza is better than ice cream, you are mistaken. Pizza dough has sugar, moreover, it's made of white flour, which is simple carb. Simple carbs have a high glycemic index and thus are treated by the body in the same way as sugar. Sugar is deadlier than alcohol, cigarette and tobacco because you can't buy these below the age of 21 and even 18 in many countries. But sugar is what you can get anywhere with no age bar. Thus, Dr. Priyanika Rohitgi, nutritionist, Apollo Hospital says kids should not be given much of sugar or salt because the taste of these things now leads to their addiction in the later age. Sugary foods when consumed regularly by children can affect their attention span and learning ability and aggravate hyperactivity in kids suffering from ADHD. If you are a parent, you would know the struggle of making your kid eat veggies. Your kid often complains of being full and denies eating veggies. This happens because when the sugar moves to their digestive system, it sends a false signal to the brain of being full. The more sugar they consume, the less likely they are to eat veggies, fruits, grains and dairy. The kids feel full and very soon hungry again and reach out for another sugary item, like an addict. Sugar is the deadliest and the biggest poison in everyone's life as it is present in nearly everything you consume. We say this because fructose, the natural sugar found in fruits, is also added as high fructose corn syrup, HFSC, in all the processed foods. And fructose turns off your body's appetite control system by fooling your metabolism. This, in turn, fails to stimulate insulin, which disturbs the hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, making you feel hungry all the time. This ultimately leads you to eat more and develop insulin resistance, known as type 2 diabetes. Sugar causes metabolic dysfunction, which leads to weight gain, obesity, decreased HDL, good cholesterol, increased LDL, bad cholesterol, elevated triglycerides, increased blood sugar, high uric acid and high blood pressure. And all these factors increase the risk of kidney and liver failure. Most of all, simple and refined sugar suppresses the immune system and leads up to 50% decrease in the ability of the white blood cells to kill germs and bacteria in the body. Liking for sweet things can not only be habit-forming but can also lead to sugar dependence. But how do you know if you are dependent on sugar? You eat more foods with sugar than you actually want to. Maybe you decide to just have one piece of cake, but you end up eating more than that. This indicates your sugar addiction. You crave for salty foods. A constant craving for salty foods may indicate that you are eating too much sugar. This is body's attempt to balance out the excess amount of sugar you have had. You crave for simple carbs and sugar. Simple carbs are bread, pasta, pastries, white rice and more. Soft drinks, syrups, table sugar, toffees all contain simple carbohydrates. The more simple carbs you eat, the more your body demands for it, leaving you dissatisfied. The reason that you are never satisfied even after having ample of these foods, manufacturers take the benefit of it. They increase the portion size. The more you eat, the more your stomach expands to adapt the new size portion. All this disturbs the stimulation of ghrelin and leptin, leaving you unsatisfied and hungry always. Yes, sugar does this to you. Limiting your sugar intake is the only way to break your dependence upon it. Many of us do not smoke and drink because we know it's harmful for our health. But what about sugar? Just because it is easily available doesn't mean we have to consume it in every form. It is time we start questioning this culture of having meetha for every reason possible. People very conveniently have packaged foods, canned foods or outside food. But all this is nothing, just excess chemicals that your body doesn't need. Real food is never packed. So, make better choices, and say hello to a healthy life.